Linval Joseph. What do you guys think? When you think of Linval Joseph, what's your first thoughts of Linval Joseph?
I would not want to sit next to him on an airplane.
That's an old-ass name.
Yes.
An old-ass name.
I didn't know we made Linvals ever. I've never heard of another Linval.
No, he's probably the first and only.
You know what, Lucius? You brought that up, and I don't know. What's the origin of a Linval?
I don't know, man.
I'm all
It
over
sounds
it.
like you're supposed to say uncle in front of it.
Yeah.
Linval. Uncle Linval.
He's old, though.
He was born with a beard.
He is. He's
That's
30.
what I wonder. How washed is he? How athletic could you still be at that size at that age?
Yeah, the thing about it is we talk about these defensive tackles, and I've said this a couple of times today. I'll say it again. I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done.
Keep throwing bodies in that rotation.
There's a lot of whispering going on about that position, and I think they're still looking at some other things. So we'll keep an eye on that. Cut down day is Tuesday, and we got a game this weekend that we're going to deal with. But anyway, this guy, matter of fact, we got 2 Buffalo Bills now. You know,
with Phillips, yeah,
with Phillips and then Joseph, both were so same game film that I watched. I watched the Dallas film, Kansas City's film, and then Philadelphia's film. This guy is a true nose tackle. He is a true head up, one technique nose tackle. I need to find out why he wears a brace on his right elbow. Need to kind of figure that one out. I don't know. But to quote my buddy Todd Archer, this guy plays with some grown man strength, is what he says. This guy does. He's got some power.
Got some GMS.
Yeah, this is not like the young Mozzie or young Rogers or young guys like that. This is a grown man. This guy plays with some strength.
They say the name Linval gives you a strong urge for independence. Ooh. You have asserted your individuality early in life if you're Linval. So
okay,
there you go.
That wasn't where I thought that was going, but I appreciate the heads up. This guy can really squeeze.
Definitely a 1776 ass name. That's for sure.
It is.
Linval.
You think Linval was was one of the like he was horseshoeing, making horseshoes?
Yeah, Linval was there.
He was the silversmith, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's go down to Linval's and get the horses shoot. Right? I think
he was the first ever
blacksmith.
horse
That's what I was
shoer.
thinking of, right? Blacksmith. Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of that name forever.
He's a horseshoer.
He was a horseshoer guy.
Who's making those shoes?
He was the first
Who's
ever.
making the shoes? But our blacksmith here, he really does a good job of squeezing the hole with the best of them. When you see the ball, when the ball is coming inside of him, he will there were several times where he took these centers and just pushed them into the hole to restrict the hole right there. And that's just the power. He can compress blockers into the play. The thing that's interesting about him is, he tends to pop up out of his stance. He's not a go forward.
Come on, Linval. Don't be playing high. Low man wins.
He's a pops up out of his stance and then reacts. The pass rush is all going to be through power. He can get stuck along the line of scrimmage when he gets double teamed. He can be walled off if he goes the wrong way. There's times where you see him pop up and then go to a side and it's going the wrong way. He needs to
go the right way, Linval. Go the right way.
Go the correct way.
Correct way.
Go the correct way. When he wants to come off the ball, though, he could be a load to deal with. He can be hard to handle. It's hard for him to redirect.
He's so damn big.
Just at that sheer size.
When you get him going one direction, it's really hard for him to get back and go the other way.
He's a force of nature. He's not able to move like the scat backs.
The best chance of him making a stop is right at him. He did miss a tackle in the Philly game, though, when they went at him one time. But other than that, if the ball goes right at him in his direction, he's got a really good shot of making the play. I only saw one time where they used him in a game, twist game, movement stuff. It was only one time, and it really wasn't much.
It's not a strength.
Not much success there. He did a better job of working down the line of scrimmage against Kansas City. It's kind of like he took it personal that he was having to deal with their center, with Creed Humphrey there. And Humphrey and him got into some battles. But that was his most active moment, and our most active game was against the Chiefs. He was better playing off blocks. The hand use for control was a lot better. He's got his moments where he is really good, and then there's other moments where blockers control him. They wall him off. They keep him from the play. And that's something you need to be aware of. He could be really tough to block when he's into it, and then there's other times he's just not a factor. But he'll take on his share of double teams as a big guy, and that allow guys around him to make those types of moves and stuff like that. So Dallas, like I said, I think they're still hunting for positions. But this guy, when you start to talk about him and Phillips and those guys, that now you've got some seriously big bodies inside, and they need to find a rotational piece though too with Osa. They can't just let him. I mean, last couple of years, Osa's played 12, 13 games, 14th game, he has 6 tackles in, like 6 games, 7 games. He's got to tackle a game.
It's worn down.
He gets wore down. I mean, if you look at his numbers after, say, like week 13, they needed to do something there. So hopefully they've got some guys that can just, in fact, do that for him. So that's what we got right there for those guys.
Terrific stuff, Brian.
Sounds like a big upgrade.
Yeah, it does.
When you talk about them still looking, are we thinking bigger names than what they've done, or guys that get
kind of
cut?
similar names? Kind of similar names. I think they're working on the trade market right now. Is what they're thinking. They're maybe trying to, instead of just going to get somebody that gets released, maybe they're going to try and be a little proactive and go get somebody that they feel like okay, this guy can actually come in and help us right now with this defensive tackle rotation.
If they can get it right, maybe this defense could be pretty dang good here this year.
Yeah, sure could.
We talk about the run game being down this year, but I thought it was down last year, and they still managed to score 30 points per game.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to rule it out. I need to see both of these rookie offensive linemen show up and have an impact and not get overwhelmed, and this run defense come together. And then, heck, maybe they could be a little better than last year.
I think the run defense will be better just for the fact of the bodies they've added, but also though the linebacker room. I think that they've got some guys that can run to the ball, that can finish, that play with some instincts. This room is really, really, it can be very special. Hopefully they can keep all these guys healthy. They got Clark back. We'll see with Overshone. He should be back, but those hip pointers, you just never know with how long they might take.